Mike Effin White. What can he do to make sure that we don't lose games?
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Just with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and a couple of quick announcements before we get into the video. If you want to become a citizen of Tigo Slavia, which is our Patreon, and get a bunch of cool little benefits and things that you can get, that link is in the description, as well as to the Twitter, the Talking Just with Tigo merch, and all that stuff. Get down there, click all that stuff. If you want to help support the channel, I greatly appreciate it. It costs less than a cup of coffee a month to help support the channel. But let's hop right into today's video. Mike Effin White, obviously he's starting for us against the Chicago Bears, and the expectation is that if and when he beats the Chicago Bears, that he's going to retain the starting spot. So what can we as a Jets organization do to keep Mike White's head above water and make sure that we see more of the Cincinnati Bengals Mike White versus the other game and a half where he was on pace to throw for like 50 interceptions? Well, I think the first thing that we have to talk about is I think that objectively we have much, much better weapons around Mike White at every level when we look at tight ends, when we look at wide receivers, and when we look at running backs. And so the play calling, I think, has to be the most important thing. And Mike White does a couple of things really, really well, and that's get the ball out on time, effectively, and quickly, right? And he does it pretty accurately. So if we can just get the ball in our playmakers' hands, and that's what he did against Cincinnati, right? If you go back and watch the Cincinnati game, which is what I did, you'll see that he does that very well. He goes back through and he hits the guys underneath in space and lets them go create plays. We got to listen to what Garrett Wilson said, because he's absolutely right. We've got so many dogs on this team that can create after the catch that if we just get the ball in their hands quickly, which is something that Mike White does incredibly well, we can win football games and keep the playoff hopes alive. And then hopefully this can be a kick in the pants and we can get Zach Wilson back, because Zach Wilson's raw athleticism and his arm talent and the things that he does well are elite things that like we can get out of elite quarterbacks, where Mike White is just, he's a backup, and he's a backup for a reason, right? He doesn't do anything at the quarterback position exceptionally well, or he doesn't really have the ceiling for that, but he can keep us afloat while we evaluate and see if Zach Wilson can come back and win his job back. I hope he can, and I hope he does, because I think if we want to have a serious playoff run, Zach Wilson needs to be the guy under center, and he needs to figure out how to play the quarterback position, because if not, we're going to have a different conversation. But Mike White, get the ball out quickly, efficiently, on time. We know you can do those things, and Mike LaFleur needs to just call the right plays. We know that he can. We know that Mike LaFleur is an excellent offensive coordinator, and he's going to dial up a game that's going to be able to take advantage of the thing that Mike White does well, which ironically, according to a lot of the Jets people and a lot of people that I really, really trust on Twitter, Michael Nania and all those guys, are things that the Chicago Bears do incredibly badly. So this is a match made in heaven, and this is a game that I fully expect, and I mean 100% fully expect Mike White to win, and not because of Mike White, but because of the team around him, and honestly, the opponent. So let me know what you guys expect out of Mike White this game. I'm not expecting a whole ton, but I'd like to see 300 yards. I'd like to see a touchdown or two thrown. I'd like to see us getting our wide receivers involved more, because we know we have a quarterback that can hit the underneath short crossing routes and short out routes accurately, which we couldn't trust Zach to do before. Let me know in the comment section below, and last but not least, go Jets.